These structures, the center part of the building is, I don't know how many bricks wide, but it's basically, we've got two buildings side by side attached to each other. So you remove everything on the inside, you still have the double brick wall on the outside, the maybe quadruple brick wall on the interior, and then another one on the other side. So this thing is going to remain standing, you know, even after we've removed everything else. Houses are a little bit tougher. It's harder to do that because you never know if this wall is being supported down in the basement. Whereas in this case, this wall is just floating. Technically just floating. There's nothing holding it up. And it's not holding anything up. We're also, in that back unit, we realized that this ceiling here is a false ceiling. It's not the roof right here. The roof is another 3 feet above that. So all of the wood that's holding up this ceiling is coming out too. So if you go into that back bedroom and over there, you'll see the roof. You're looking at the underside of the roof. And so every ounce of wood that we can get out of here is retrievable. And it ends up being in very good shape. This is wood that you can't buy new. It's old growth. Back in 1915, they were getting wood from the south, Georgian and South Carolinian southern yellow pine. And it's old growth, meaning it's got tighter rings, it's got tighter grains. You go to Home Depot and you look at a 2x4, there's no rings to it because it was grown in a year. This wood, it took decades, maybe even a century to grow because the pine tree grew really big and then they managed to make all sorts of pieces of wood out of it.
So then when you sell the wood, that helps go towards the demolition part?
It helps good. It helps defray your costs, your costs on your average labor-intensive costs. You know, a demo guy doesn't even walk in a building like this. They just sit out there in their truck and they just pull the building down. Yeah, and you know that's the lowest cost way of doing it for sure. But nothing comes out. Nothing comes out intact. At best, you're going to get stone or brick. In this case here, we're looking at trying to find a new life for this wood that's not mulch, you know, that's not splinters. If you go to Nighttown Restaurant at Cedar Fairmount, or the Starbucks right up the street, or you go to Fahrenheit Restaurant or Greenhouse Tavern, Pura Vida on Public Square, these are all restaurants that have tables and wall panels made of reclaimed wood. So there is an added value to this. It just takes the right eye, takes the right type of creativity to make something of greater value out of this old wood.
Chris, you want to go to that back room with the false?
Sure, yeah, let's go back there. That back bedroom over there will give you an idea. They built this building to last, you could tell.
See the difference between
Yeah.
There's a 2x4 and the
You'll see orange fencing. Don't worry, the wires are not live. All the power's been cut. Come on back to the back room. You see that the kitchen now is wide open. I mean, there's a nice floor plan here. A wide open floor plan. No, that's welding insulation cellular. So the first thing, very first thing that you do in a project like this is clean it out, you know, of all the clothing and sleeping bags and boxes of stuff. So you notice here, this is the actual roof. This is the underside of the roof that you're looking at. And you've got, you know, 2-3 feet below it is this false ceiling. These are 2x6s that are all leaning up against the wall behind Gus and over here up against this wall. We realized that there's more wood that could be taken out. So why not do that instead of leaving it up? So we'll start with there, and we'll do it on throughout this whole upper unit. And we leave little chutes here. We cut open holes so that we can send the debris that isn't going to be retrieved down into the basement, so that when final excavation comes, that gets removed. After this is done, walls removed, now we can go after the floors and then the joists, and now you'll have nothing in here. You'll be looking from wall to wall and back wall to front wall,